What's up, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Lockdown 23 and 1. That's that good Colombian roast, my friends. Today we are going to be talking about, can whites join a blood or Crip gang? Okay, now before I get into that, I want to just give a kind of a shout out to an episode that's seen on Big Herc's channel the other day, okay, fresh out. He had this special guest. I like his content, okay, because he speaks to a lot of people. But this one I really liked in particular. I think he was talking to this guy that he does a lot of cooking episodes with. I think it was like XXX Suave. This dude was spot on, okay, when he was talking about the state of Virginia. And I kind of feel like it's co-signing the stuff that I say, because a lot of people are so close-minded, okay, especially the people from the West. They just think that everything happens in the prison system like it does over there, where it doesn't, okay. And the reason why I'm saying this is because it has a vital play in what I'm going to be talking about with the Bloods, Crips, and stuff like that. Okay, so this dude Suave, he says he's done time in Cali. I think that's where he's from. And he's a Crip, if I remember correctly from what he said. I believe he's a Crip. Don't quote me on that. I could be wrong. But anyways, he said he's also done time in Virginia, okay? And he said the number one thing that I say all the time, okay? There are no politics in Virginia, okay? Meaning there is no racial segregation. He said he would go into a pod or something and see blacks, whites, and Hispanics gambling, playing poker, playing cards at the same time. There's no segregated showers. There's no segregated phones. None of that stuff, okay? In the state of Virginia, we are blended, my friend. That's right. The race factor is there, but it's more on a low-key status, all right? So I just want to give a big shout-out to Big Herc and his content for at least having someone from the that's done time in the East Coast speak his mind, especially over here in the state of Virginia, because a lot of people think that what I'm saying, it just don't go right, because they're so close-minded, all right? They're so close-minded to think that what I'm saying is impossible to happen. When I say people are mixed and blended, that is facts, especially over here in Virginia and a lot of other states in the East Coast. All right, so the reason why I say all of that is because it has a big factor in how gangs function in the state of Virginia mainly, and a lot of other states on the East Coast, okay? You will see whites running with Crips. I have seen whites running with Bloods, and I'm going to get into that very shortly. But first, let's go ahead and tackle the Crip section of the whites, okay? Let me just break it down as simple as possible, okay? There's this thing called the Folk Nation. Folk Nation is a group of street gangs, all right? A group of street gangs, you know, one of the most popular ones is GD, Gangster Disciples, or Black Gangster Disciples, whatever you want to call it. And within this faction, somewhere down the line, I'm not going to get into names and stuff, but they joined this nation, and they call it the Folk Nation, all right? Now, the Folk Nation, which is, you know, a bunch of street gangs that have Spanish and white, okay, and black, okay? So that's where the blended's coming in. Now, the Crips, they made an alliance with this Folk Nation that has all these other colors of races, all right? They made an alliance with them. They call it an 8-ball. A lot of people still hold that 8-ball in high standard. If they're low-numbered in the penitentiary, they will form an 8-ball, and I have seen this happen before. But a lot of Crips nowadays say that that 8-ball alliance is cracked, and they don't form up with any of these people from the Folk Nation. So it just depends on where you're at and what prison you're in. But this is how the whites kind of got connected to the Crips, because they'll be a part of this Folk Nation, and they'll have alliance with the Crips, so that you kind of see them all running together. You know what I mean? That's where you see a lot of white guys. You can't really determine if they're Crip, Folk, GD, but really they're just a part of that Folk Nation, and it falls under that alliance with the Crips. Okay? There you go. And a lot of them represent the same colors, 6-point star, and all that good stuff. You know what I mean? So that is the basic outline of how whites, maybe Hispanics, and blacks are kind of a part of this whole Folk Nation / Crip organization. All right? But keep in mind, like I said, you go to a wrong penitentiary, and those Crips probably ain't holding up that alliance no more. Okay? So that's just how it goes. It just depends on where you're at. But in all actuality, there are whites that join CRIP gangs. Okay, it just depends on where you're at. Some people are more open to it, and some people they just go back to the roots. And no, you cannot join if you're white. If you go to the West Coast, you're a banging Crip or something like that, or folk and GD, whatever you want to call it. If you were white and you're a banging something like that, and you go to the West Coast Penitentiary in Cali, okay, chances are you're going to become an Aryan Brotherhood unless you have a bunch of these gang tats on you, because the race factor in Cali is so extreme. Whites do not deal with blacks. Isn't that absolutely crazy? The East and the West, even, down to Chicago, it's totally different than the West Coast politics. And honestly, I really do not know how the West Coast politics got like that. I don't think anybody can answer the question with 100% guarantee why the race factor happened in the West Coast. Maybe someone in the comment section can enlighten me. But anyways, that's outlook on Crips and whites, okay? They might not be a legitimate Crip, but they do fall under that alliance where the folk nation kind of blends in with the Crips, okay? Now, let's go on to the Bloods. You ain't gonna see too many white guys claiming to be a Blood. Now, don't get it twisted, there are plenty out there. There's actually in some areas, the whole set is nothing but white Bloods. You know what I mean? It's crazy. But I'm telling you this right now, okay? You go to the West Coast, you might think twice about even mentioning that you are a part of that stuff. For real. I've been to 5 different prisons in Virginia, and I only seen one white dude claim to be a Blood. Every other white dude I seen claim to be a Blood got beat the hell out of. That's just how it went. But this one white dude that I seen, I think his name was Bulldog, I don't know. But you could tell, this dude could scrap, man. He was a fighter, and you could tell he has put in work throughout years. His nose was super crooked, he had teeth knocked out, and it wasn't from doing drugs, this is from fighting, you know what I mean? You can tell certain teeth get knocked out during fights. Typically, the front ones, and that's it, you know what I mean? And this dude was missing teeth, but he knew his knowledge, and he never backed down, and he claimed that Blood 100%, you know what I mean? And sooner or later, he became a part of that fold. And let's say he were to go to another prison, he's going to have to put in even more work again and again and again. And if he goes to West Coast and he wants to represent that Blood stuff, he's probably going to end up dying. That is the raw truth behind it. It all depends on where you're located, what prison you're in. But if you want to keep claiming that, let's say you get locked up in other areas of the country or different prisons or jails, I can guarantee you they're not going to look at you the same as where you came from. You know what I mean? So yeah, that is the facts on can whites join Bloods or Crips. I strongly do not recommend you going to penitentiary claiming to be a Blood. You are going to have a very hard time, my friends. I don't care how much knowledge you know. There's a lot of people in the Blood and Crip organization that still feel as though whites do not have any part of it. It is what it is. Now, I want to get back to this XXX Suave guy, man. He says that when he did time in Virginia, all the gangbangers were looking up to him because they could tell he was from Cali, he knew his stuff, he was legit. And this is true. This is true. A person from Cali, okay, that's banging, a person from Cali that's gang banging comes to Virginia, he is going to be worshipped, my friends. That's right. He is going to be worshipped, and he's going to lock down the compound. For real. There are OGs and shot callers in Virginia penitentiary system. But there's not too many straight from Cali where it all originated. You know what I mean? And those guys are really respected. Okay, I remember I made a video on St. Louis, saying what happens if another OG or shot caller comes from another state. A lot of people, that rank don't mean nothing. Well, guess what? If you come from Cali, if you are legitimately from Cali, all right, and you are a shot caller or an OG out there and you come over here to Virginia, you're going to be living like a king. That's all there is to it. You might get G-checked a million times, but once your name is out there and you're exposed for how real you are, those dudes, all them little foot soldiers, all of them are going to fall right into place. They're going to be doing as that man pleases, for real. Homeboy from Cali is going to become somewhat of a god in the penitentiary system. I seen a dude from the West Coast come over here and start doing time in the penitentiary, and he locked it down. He changed the whole entire environment of that cell block. The whole vibe changed. It went from relaxation to on edge because you don't know what kind of orders he's about to put out on the next man. Facts. You know what I mean? So just keep that in mind, you know. The gang life is very tricky. There's a lot of people that don't go along the lines of other people's ideas, okay? But I do have a question for the XXX Suave guy. I hope I'm saying your name right, man. Hey, salute to you, man. I appreciate what you did in that channel and actually kind of co-signing what I say about the politics situation over here in Virginia. But I do have a question. When you came to Virginia to do time, did you bring the racist stuff with you? Were you locking it down just like they were doing out in Cali? Give me an answer on that. I would like to know. I don't know how that typically works. You know what I mean? Did you have any problems seeing this stuff happening? Were you at peace with it? Were you happy to see this happening? Or did you bring that legitimate Cali swag with you, which, sad to say, is racism? You know, racism is a big factor in the Cali prisons. Did you bring that with you at all? Or try to make the structure kind of like that? You know what I mean? Hopefully you can get to me and answer that question for me, man. That'd be great. Anyways, a short little video today. I hope you enjoyed. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button if you haven't done it already. It doesn't take much time to just press a little like button. You know what I mean? And go check out all the links in the description of the video. Add me on Twitch, Twitter, Instagram. Go buy yourself some merchandise on my Teespring. The link is in the description as well. Go buy yourself some hoodies. Wintertime is coming. You know what I mean? And just a piece of advice before I go for any white gangbangers out there that trying to be a part of the Blood CRIP or whatever the case is, man. If you ever get locked up in the penitentiary, you're going to see a whole nother side of the gang life. Okay, gang life in prison is so much more different than the streets, my friends. It is a whole new game changer. So just be careful, be warned. Don't say death didn't warn you.